Taylor Swift has a brand new album and a deluxe album. The Tortured Poets Department is out, and here are my first thoughts on it. I know this is late, but I was taking some me time. I was taking a break, so don't get on my case, but I have listened to it. I've listened to it over and over, and my wife has made me listen to it over and over, and my daughter has made me listen to it over and over, and I've kind of enjoyed it mostly, but I will tell you this review is not going to be great. So if you do not hear from me for a while, or see me for a while, my wife did it. As usual, Taylor Swift always has a couple just big banger songs, great singles, whatever. And in my opinion, Fortnite is not really any different. I don't think like it's going to win awards or it should win awards, but it's super catchy. It's a great song. It's a fun song. Do I wish maybe Post Malone was featured a little bit more? Sure, but honestly, it was super tasteful. I thought this was a great track. And then there's Florida, as they pronounce it, which is kind of annoying, but I enjoy this song. Florence and the Machine, Taylor Swift. It's a lot of fun. I will say, though, that Taylor really seems to be in her Lana Del Rey era, which is kind of interesting because you would think that Taylor would be more of the influence in this relationship, but not so much. Definitely not with this album. And I'm not saying it's a negative thing, but there are definitely some tracks where I'm like, whoa, this sounds just like Lana. Fortnite being one of those. Another track that I really enjoy is So Long London, and this kind of brings up this other side that I kind of noticed. I was really curious who produced most of this album, and obviously this is a deluxe, so who produced most of these tracks in general. And it's split pretty much 50-50 between Jack Antonoff and Aaron Dessner. And So Long London is an Aaron Dessner produced track, and I found that on the first part, I really enjoyed all of the Aaron Dessner tracks, maybe not more than the Jack Antonoff ones, but there weren't a whole lot of the Aaron Dessner tracks that I was like, I didn't like this. There were a lot of the Jack Antonoff ones that I was kind of like, it's not sitting well with me, which, this is a whole different thing, but this is kind of my war against Jack Antonoff. He's great with Lana, but maybe drop it with everything else. But there are some tracks, especially in the bonus, that break down where I'm kind of like, ooh, this is cringe, or this wasn't great, or the production was good, but maybe not top tier. So High School is one of those. Everybody knows this track because of the cringe lyrics in it, and this brings us to a problem number 2. And problem number 2 is that some of these lyrics are just too much. Taylor always is trying to kind of drop Easter eggs. A big way that she kind of tells people about what's been going on in her life are through her songs and lyrics. And it's almost getting too much. For example, on But Daddy I Love Him, there is the line where it said, I'm having his baby, and you have probably seen the TikTok reactions where people are listening to this and like, oh, and it's obviously a joke, and I'm sure that she's weaving this into the song to fit the theme of the song as well. But we also know that this is a double thing. She is also trying to pull the wool over her fans' eyes, maybe playing a little trick, playing a little prank. This is the most on-the-nose thing I have ever seen Taylor do, and it's kind of cringe. It makes me want to vom a little bit, but this is the world we're in, I guess. So overall, I think this is okay. It is way too long, especially the bonus, but it's for her fans. It's not for anybody else, and they're going to love it, and they will always love it. So the original is okay. There's definitely some songs that are very cringy. The lyrics can be so cringy, and I'm sure you've heard it all over TikTok, all of the very, very just painful lyrics. And I think this is what it all comes down to for me, is that I think that Evermore and Folklore, great albums, great songwriting. Aaron Dessner just brought this amazing thing out of Taylor, and that was kind of the top of her songwriting. And then she kind of slides downhill a little bit, and I feel like she's trying to get back to that moment here, and it's just not working. It's just feels a little forced. Maybe there's just not enough inspiration, which is crazy because she's, she gets inspiration from her relationship. She's had several in the span of making this album, but still I think that there's a real issue, and some of the songwriting has gone downhill. It's too on the nose, it's too much fan service, it's too much all of this stuff for any average listener, and it is painful to listen to sometimes. But for the Swifties, I thought it was pretty decent, but it's her worst album.